Folks, what a day to be an F1 fan. You know, James, first off, everyone, welcome to Rolling Start, the American F1 show. We've given Monaco, some crap over the year.
Accurately given it crap over the years.
Some crap over the year.
Greatest Saturday, worst Sunday.
Greatest Saturday, processional Sunday. We have questioned its legitimacy as the jewel in the crown of F1. We've questioned why it should even exist. We've said, how do we fix Monaco? We said maybe a Joker lap. We've had guests on to say, hey, let's do a spec car for Monaco and only Monaco. And this weekend, Monaco showed up.
All Monaco needed was a brand new reg set. Apparently.
All it needed, just some go-karts.
And some chaos. 7 people didn't finish the race.
And the pavement crumbling.
The pavement fell apart.
Throwing people into the walls. We saw George Russell continue his descent into Dante's Inferno, another layer of hell. We saw Kimi Antonelli eclipse Kim Kardashian this weekend as the
most famous person on the grid.
Famous Kimmy. We saw the man himself, Lewis Hamilton, show up. We saw Red Bull on Saturday almost stealing pole position. We saw Chuck Leclerc bin it into the wall. We saw all of the highs and the low. If nothing else, Monaco was chaos.
Yeah.
And chaos always makes for fantastic TV watching F1.
There were some winners and some losers, though.
Real losers.
Real losers today.
Real losers.
Let's talk with the biggest winner of all, number 1, Kimi Antonelli.
Can this kid be stopped?
The short answer is no. It does not seem like he can be stopped. His teammate can't stop him.
No.
The other Mercedes-powered cars are sure as hell nowhere near stopping him.
Absolutely not.
The Ferraris, honestly, throughout the weekend, FP1 and FP2, you were like, oh, this is a Ferrari 1-2 weekend. You know, we had Chuck leading it and then Hamilton leading it. And then Antonelli, free practice 3, just pops out and shows out.
Unreal.
All of a sudden, we're looking at qualifying, and Antonelli is stonking fast.
Yes.
Like, bonkers fast.
But it came out like in Q3 where it's like
it was wild.
He was there all of a sudden.
Yes.
He was there.
He was more than there. He was on another planet in comparison. And so Antonelli had a phenomenal weekend. He lined up on the grid with the greatest starting car of this era, the Ferrari, with the driver who's hot for them right now, Lewis, in P2. And he was able to stay ahead of him, not just then, throughout the race, through strategy, through racing. He was rocket ship today. And then on the restart at the end of the race.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He flew away. And it was fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap. Antonelli was on another planet today.
Antonelli, I'm waiting for gravity to set in, and I'm waiting for Antonelli to prove he's human, and for all of the naysayers to be like, hey, we told you there's no way some high schooler, some kid is going to actually be successful in F1 like this. And Monaco seemed to be that race for me where I'm like, surely he's not going to be able to handle the pressure. This is Ferrari's track.
Right.
This is Chuck's home turf. Like, Lewis is coming alive. We've got some ideations that Red Bull is coming at it. And then we see Max put it on provisional pole. We see Chuck put on provisional pole. We're like, oh my God. And then the pressure doesn't seem to be getting to this kid, or he has a way of handling it.
Right.
That is decades beyond his years.
Exactly.
And so I keep waiting for gravity to set in and for this kid to fall back down to earth. And it's not happening. Yeah. And if it didn't happen at Monaco, like, I don't know when it's going to actually settle in. If we didn't get the insane chaos that we got with the restart, they were saying Kimi was on pace to have the largest winning margin at Monaco, I want to say like the 21st century.
That's insane. I mean,
Unreal.
He's the youngest Monaco winner ever.
History.
He's 66 points in the lead of the championship. 5 wins in a row. The kid just ended the championship in June.
That's strong. But but on point.
5 in a row. Like, I feel like I'm watching Max in Red Bull prolific times here.
Yep.
It seems to be that Antonelli and that car, 5 race weekends in a row now, cannot be broken.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter track.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter country.
Nope.
He's there.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it, but this time, I remember when Max was on his winning streak of just epic proportions, and Red Bull had the most dominant car in F1 history at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone just kind of kept saying, like, we're witnessing something really unheard of in this moment. Like,
100%.
this is insane that we're witnessing this. And obviously, like, people started being like, oh, okay, it's kind of boring because Max is, so dominant.
Yeah.
This is different, though.
No, this is different.
This isn't like that. It's
also a full reset with these regulations. Like, everyone's in a new boat, whereas we were looking at, the tail end of a regulation set where Red Bull had perfected it.
Red Bull had gotten there. This is something completely different where every race we're seeing just insanity. Freaking in Canada, Kimi was mowing the lawn with his car multiple times. Like, it wasn't this clear cut, oh, this kid is just going to take it. Like, he has had to fight. He has had to fight his teammate. He has had to fight his competitors. And somehow he has found a way to win every single race except Australia. I mean, literally, like, he has lost so many positions at the start of every single race.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost become comical how many positions he loses, then he has to fight his way back. It's not like he's just out on a joyride and no one can catch him and he's not having to fight and not having to deal with the stress or the pressure. He's having to navigate all of that.
Right.
And I think with Monaco, the thing that seemed to click that started that race, he was there.
Yes.
Didn't lose positions.
Yes, 100%.
He was out the gate.
Couldn't agree more.
And then he just pulled ahead. I mean, at one point he had like a 6-second lead and it was like, oh, he is in a rocket ship that nothing can touch.
Yes. Antonelli drove the Mercedes today like it was a rocket ship that nobody could touch. But this is a team sport, and there are 2 sides to the coin. And on one side of the garage was a tale of triumph, and on the other side was it's a tale of disaster, defeat, depression. George Russell is having the unluckiest title championship fight in F1 history.
Unreal.
A few races ago, we were saying he was going to win the championship. Software issues, pit lane penalties, strategy disasters. Monaco. Antonelli is collecting trophies.
Bins.
And Russell, it feels like the narrative now of when he said in Canada, it's like the racing gods are against me. I think there might be racing gods against George Russell.
I agree. Completely.
Has he lost the championship already? He's in 3rd place behind Lewis Hamilton now.
George Russell is a broken F1 driver right now. And each week we see a bit more of him just kind of crumple and shatter. He tried to come into this weekend kind of playing some mental games. He tried to come into it and like psych Kimi out. And we're seeing someone who's drowning trying every tactic they can to stay afloat.
Yes.
And again, I think he is in his head. And as soon as you get in your head in a bad way, it is so hard to rebalance.
Yeah.
He was off of Kimi's pace. I want to say it was like 0.4 of a second.
It was bad.
In qualifying. And that's up here.
That's
you're
a
off
mental
0.4, right? So they've got the same rocket ship. Like, and you can't.
And he has made it perform previously.
Of course he has.
He's won.
But this is the piece with George now. Now it just feels inevitable. And
that's a good way to put it.
As soon as you're on like the backside of history inevitability, it is so hard to climb that Everest and to like even mount a counterattack. I mean, at this point, just on points alone, coming back mathematically is difficult. It's not possible. Really difficult.
Tough.
But points isn't really the thing. It's momentum and it's mental.
Momentum and mentality, I agree.
Those are the two areas where George has lost, and he has just been skidding, and he can't stop. And nothing he does is stopping his free fall. And so it is really like, it is a very interesting place to be as a fan, to watch someone in free fall.
100%.
Where it's everything is like slick ice, nothing is stopping you, you can't get your footing, and George is there. And at this point, it almost does feel like one of the drivers has like the blessing of the F1 gods, and the other one's cursed. And there's like
he's
there's
68 points behind Kimi at the moment. 68 points. That would mean in order to catch up, he'd have to win 3 races in a row, and Kimi would have to score 0 points.
And that's not where the momentum is right now. He's the one scoring 0 points.
Do you think we're going to see, looking at Mercedes,
yes,
knowing that last year Toto was baffled with the we have 2 number 1 driver mentality that McLaren has.
Yeah.
Do you see a point where Mercedes goes, okay, we're backing Kimi for the championship this year?
I mean, they have to already be there.
Are they there now?
Of course they are.
Are they going into the next race going, we're all in on Kimi?
Well, they have
George,
to be.
you back up the track. It's not about you winning anymore. George, don't qualify. Like, they are savage when it comes to this. Mercedes was the one that says, Bottas, slow down. You're going to out-qualify Lewis.
Yep. I mean,
do not go P1. That's literally what they will tell their drivers.
I don't know if we're in that era of Mercedes anymore, because Mercedes also was a broken team. This last
that mentality was when they were winning.
I know. But what I'm saying is Mercedes has changed since that Lewis and Bottas moment.
Era.
They have lost their way. They have been humbled. They have had to find their way back. Would they do that again? It's still Toto, quite possibly.
Totally.
But I do think they have fundamentally shifted and changed as a team. What I would say, though, to your question is, if they're not backing Kimi at this point, they are lying to themselves and trying to convince themselves something all of us know to be true. Kimi is the number 1 driver at Mercedes.
Yes.
And he is vindicating all of the trust Toto put in him. So Toto would be crazy not to say he's our guy. And it's not like George didn't get a fair fight.
100%.
He got a fair fight. Now, again, you could say like him breaking down in Canada is not his fault. He probably would have won. He had won the sprint. He had qualified on pole, the car getting out from under him. But it's been his to lose. And there's been a couple been a couple things with just luck going the other way, but it's not like the team has been sabotaging George.
No.
And I think at this point, we get 1 or 2 more races in and Kimi continues his dominance. They're crazy not to say he's number 1.
Right. Well, the crazy thing is you're looking at 2 drivers in totally different eras of their life. You're looking at Kimi where he's 5 races in and he's going, this is incredible. This is my 2nd year in Formula 1. I can't lose. This only makes me look better as a driver. Even if I don't perform, even if I don't get the championship this year, for this to be my existence, for me to break these kind of records in the 2nd year of my career at this age, I am winning no matter what. Yeah. George is going in the twilight of my career. I cannot go out like this. I cannot go into my next contract round with the guy who choked with the 17-year-old on his team. Obviously, we know Kimi's 18. But you know what I mean? Like, that's what he's looking at. He's staring down the barrel of the pressure gun.
Yeah.
And Kimi doesn't have pressure. There is no pressure.
No.
There is the normal Formula 1 driver. I'm getting used to my media days. George is feeling all of that. Plus, this could be it. This is my one possible shot. This is my Norris 2025. And if I don't take this, then I could be like Norris is in 2026.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, George, it's even worse than that because he's looking at his name being linked to Bottas. He's looking at that being the kind of Mercedes driver he's remembered as one who just could not hold a candle to Lewis Hamilton. And that is not what George has signed up for. And it's one of these things where George's descent into hell itself is very public. The whole world
100%.
is having a front row seat to this.
100%.
And every team that would ever want to or think of hiring another driver, potentially George, is having a front row seat to his meltdown.
100%.
And they're having a front row seat to how he's handling that. Now, again, when you're drowning, there's not like a pretty way to drown. There's not like a suave
There's no
way
cute
to
way to go about it.
There's not like a slick way to be like.
It was Leo in Titanic. He just kind of fell.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're Leo, but like in this case, it's a very ugly undoing of
100%.
someone who everyone said
is it.
You are the one who's going to win. And so George's stock is
it's hard to watch.
Almost worthless at this point. And it doesn't make sense because he has the best car.
100%.
So, and again, like just specifically about Monaco today, like he had somehow racked up the most bizarre penalties that just totally decimated his shot at the points, where it was like he had a penalty and then he didn't serve it when he came into the pits. And if you don't serve the penalty when you're in the pits,
you get another one.
You get another penalty.
Correct.
And then on the restart, he had to do 2 laps, and then he had to come back in, serve it, and then he dropped down to like 14th.
It was a nightmare.
And so it was one of these things where it's almost comical how unlucky the day went for him. And again, that on top of the fact that he never had the pace.
Yes.
And that he was starting the race in like P6 or P7. And he was already 4/10 off.
A nightmare.
So it's just, he just got piled on at Monaco. And it's unfortunate. I think he lives there. It's not like he can go escape somewhere else. It's like he's got to go to his apartment,
there, dude.
overlooking the scene of his downfall.
So funny. 100%.
That's tough.
A brutal day for George Russell, finishing in 12th place, 43 seconds behind his teammate. 2 sides of the coin. I'll say this one last thing about Mercedes. George's result today is not indicative of that car.
Of course not.
But if you were a Mercedes customer team coming into this year, you were thinking that you were the bee's knees. You were up for it. It is becoming evident that Mercedes is the only team that really knows how to figure out their power unit.
Yeah.
Because the other Mercedes powered teams are not having as an enjoyable time with this engine, with this setup as these other teams are. Williams, McLaren, they are not doing. The only person that is loving it, and we don't know if it's because of the engine or just because they've had such a bad engine for so long, is Alpine.
They're like, oh my God.
Like, this is incredible. You guys, I never knew you're supposed to put oil in these things. This is amazing. And so it's just interesting to me to see. I don't even know how to quantify that. It's something that I've now got my eye on. I'm like, man, what's going on with these Mercedes customer teams? Like, they've got to. Zach Brown's got to be like going, this is not it, dude. This is not it.
I did hear something several weeks ago that Mercedes, how they rolled out information to their customer teams was just delayed or incomplete. So they, of course, are the ones manufacturing the power 100%. Unit. So they've got all that data, but it wasn't.
So it was like, how much can we give them without needing to give them all of that?
So that's the piece of it too. And this was something that McLaren had brought up is like, hey, like this is,
we need this
an issue if we are purchasing this from you.
Correct.
But you're not actually giving us all that. So again, I haven't looked into it as much since then, but this
it's interesting to look at. It's
ago.
something that I think we should keep our eye on.
Yeah.
Being keen investigators, you and I.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
We've spent 20-something minutes talking about Mercedes. So let's go over to the team that is quietly picking up points. Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton is having the greatest stretch he has ever had at Ferrari. It's only 2 races, but he has now had 2 back-to-back P2 finishes. He is second in the driver's standing, and he today, with those points, even with Chuck and also Russell finishing outside of the point, Ferrari is only 79 points behind Mercedes in the World Championship fight. If this continues, I think what you and I said last week, whereas Ferrari could be fighting for the World Championship, is a reality this year.
Yeah.
Even with Freddie V in the hospital.
Dude, yeah.
We're out here.
Well, first off, what a weekend for Ferrari.
Seriously.
Freddie V is out. Chuck looks like he's going to
Chuck is out of his mind.
Chuck's out of his mind. You know, Ferrari's got to navigate the fact that Kim Kardashian's there, and they're like, wait, what are we supposed to do with all this? Like, we're supposed to focus on the race. Everyone's thinking about Kim. Even the Sky Sports team is like, they kept showing like shots of Kim, and they're like, yeah, Kim's here for Lewis, I guess.
Just in case you missed it the last 22 times, Kim Kardashian's here.
But Ferrari has all this stuff they're navigating, and Lewis is on another level.
100%.
Like, and like literally qualifying. It was unreal to see 3 generations.
100%.
You saw Kimi, you saw Max, you saw Lewis, and you're like,
yeah,
this is Monaco, I guess.
Do you think we're sleeping on Hamilton's title run for number 8 because of Kimi's dominance? Like, do we think this could be a reality that we're looking at?
I think some things would have to like make a left turn.
But if they get their engine regulation,
they do.
If they get that approved and they get to improve their engine, we're looking at a crazy dogfight for the championship.
I mean, it'd be unreal.
And he's right there. And here's the thing. Last week, we got so much crap online about this. Last week, he finished P2 in Canada. And the question that we had was, is he back? Is Lewis back? Many people disagreed and said it wasn't even that good of a weekend. Chuck wasn't in it. Wait until Monaco. Chuck loves Monaco. He's not good at Canada. He loves Monaco. Chuck's so good at Monaco. Just wait until Charles is at Monaco. And Charles was at Monaco.
He was at Monaco.
And Lewis outqualified him on merit.
Yes.
On merit.
Yes.
Now, Chuck got the pooch this weekend from the old Ferrari team, but Hamilton's, I think he's back. I think Hamilton is back.
Of course he's back.
There are now, in my mind, 2 things that go bump in the night: Hamilton and Max Verstappen.
Lewis Hamilton, like Mercedes, lost his way a bit.
For sure.
And he's found
Self-admittedly.
And Lewis is honest about that. But he was almost even a little like embarrassed, even saying like, hey, I think I'm actually getting my qualifying back.
Right.
And I'm like, kind of,
I don't think you are, dude.
Chuck.
Like, you're crushed, bro.
Dude, again, this weekend was incredible. Now, Ferrari didn't have the pace that Kimi had. And that was evident. Out the gate.
Monaco wasn't decided on pace. It was decided by absolute nonsense this weekend. Like, it was bonkers. It was insane. It was historically unusually distracting of a race. Like, it was wild.
I mean, it was one of those things where there was so many things happening, and we'll get to all the
multiple crashes, safety cars, red flags, broken track surfaces, penalties everywhere. Everyone's confused about these like pit lane calculations and the speeding. Like,
I don't think there's still clarity on that.
I don't think anyone does know what's going on, which then there's going to be a massive knock-on effect to that. And so it was wild. It was a wild weekend.
It was wild. But to Hamilton's point, I think Hamilton is in a good, back to this mental thing, he's in a good mental space.
Yes.
And his mental strength is aligning with the car he's got. We've got Ferrari bringing upgrades soon.
Yes.
I legitimately think, back to your question, like, if Ferrari can figure out their power unit
Mm-hmm.
and they can get closer to the pace of Mercedes, like, of course it's on.
100%.
Like, of course it's on. Like,
yes.
and to see a fight between Hamilton and Kimi
Mm-hmm.
would be
Prolific.
one for the ages.
One for the ages.
And it's just Ferrari.
Yeah, drive a
get your
generation
crap
gap between them.
together
It's amazing.
so that we can see this. Now, again,
Yeah.
the one
Well,
thing
Ferrari seems to have their crap together. I just think Chuck this weekend, he said in the post interview, it wasn't hard to drive with the current brakes that I had. It was impossible.
Well, he also said it was downright dangerous. Chuck was okay.
Chuck was not Chuck.
To Chuck.
Chuck was not chucking.
Chuck was furious this weekend.
Livid.
He like Lewis and others is very honest about his own faults and flaws. And he made a point after he ran over all of the rubble on the degrading track and went right into the wall. He made it a point to say, yeah, that's not the issue. And all of us were like, wait, this was a carbon copy of literally what Lance Stroll just did. You ran over
we just
a bunch
expected him
of
to
rocks
do it. Yeah.
and you binned it into the wall because the left side of your car was like, oh, we don't know how to drive anymore. And he was like, no, that's not the issue. And we're like, okay, come on, Chuck. And he's like, it's my brakes.
Yeah.
This has been an issue. And he's like, it's one thing. If it's on me, I will own that. And if I look like an idiot and it's on me, I'll take that. But I don't look like an idiot when it's on my team. And he had just signed a huge contract extension. This was his home race.
Down on Ferrari.
He was like, he had gotten provisional pole for Monaco. This was meant to be the week of just his transcendence and him, partying, him celebrating the fact of this extension and all these things. And it just, his knees got knocked out from under him. And he was very livid.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very pointed to the team.
Yes.
And it wasn't just the brakes. When the team brought in Lewis and had him serve that 5-second penalty, they double stacked.
Yes. They double stacked.
And that impacted Chuck.
Chuck behind the guy who had a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, what was that about? Like,
it's just, Lewis is loving it.
Of course.
Chuck's going, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And that just layers on it where
100%.
This is meant to be his weekend. And there's all these moments where it just gets ripped away from him. And so
100%.
Chuck's got to go figure out how to navigate that.
Yep.
I think it was interesting that, Freddie wasn't there. Like, maybe Freddie's watching. Maybe.
No, I bet
Chuck
he was
is
watching.
Being very clear.
Yeah.
As Freddie's off in whatever hospital he's in watching.
Yep.
And like Mercedes, Kimi and Russ having polar opposite weekends. It was the exact same thing in Ferrari, but it was with a guy who you thought was going to have a great weekend and he just didn't.
Yeah. It's a tough day for Chuck. Great day for Hamilton.
How does Chuck regain the mojo here? So right now we've got Kimi and Lewis's stock just going up into the right. Like first and second place. George has been dying very publicly out there.
100%.
Chuck's right behind him. They're close on points. They're like 13 points off. If you're Chuck, like how do you bounce back from this? And if it is the brakes, does the team have the time to fix him before Barcelona?
Well, they have the new brake upgrade that's coming. They technically were going to do it this weekend, but he said he didn't want to go into Monaco with brakes that he didn't understand. So I understand that, which he then owned. So he said, then maybe it is partly my fault.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know whether or not Lewis took those brakes, and that's why he had such a different weekend. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But it did allude when I was listening to him talk in a few of the post-race interviews that he feels the current car, the way the car is being developed is not towards his style.
Insinuating it's towards Lewis's?
That's what I picked up. I don't know if that's what he's saying. However, he did also say with the new brakes, I'm expecting to do much better in Spain and to get back out there. And that's the thing I do love about Chuck and I really respect about Mr. Number 16 is that he really does pick himself back up and get right out there. And his pinning it again. He has an unusually strong mental fortitude. Out of all of them, he seems the most level-headed. He's like a mix between Max, who's just like what I would imagine a really intense person is like, and then Norris, who's like overtly like fun.
Yeah.
And like, and then there's just Charles in the middle. Like he's like the one kind of friend that like he's the glue in it all. You know what I mean? And so I do really respect that about him. But he had a Monaco to forget, and he is, riding his bicycle 3 blocks home going, man, I can't wait to just be back home. Yeah. Congrats on his like $10 million yacht that he just got. So maybe he went there instead. Maybe not entirely sure. Let's talk Civil War. Let's talk Red Bull.
Red Bull. Here's the thing about Red Bull, and we said this last time with Isaac. This guy can drive. Red Bull has found their second driver, and they have been lost in the woods.
Yes, 100%.
They have went through so many incredible drivers. Yep. None of them could stand up to Max, and this kid has done it.
Yep.
Max has an abysmal Sunday.
Abysmal.
Incredible Saturday.
Incredible. Like
everyone's like,
watching his qualifying lap was magnificent. Like it was. I think his qualifying lap, it was one of the greatest moments of driving I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I was going
fantastic.
It was that line where everyone says, well, you can't do more than the car. And I was like, this is the driver making the difference. This is absolutely insane what he is forcing this thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And then you saw Chuck try to do the same thing, and he slammed it into the wall. And so you're going like, whoa, he did that in a Red Bull, in the current Red Bull, which is getting better, but not great. No. Not great.
I mean, and this was a huge step forward. We had just seen him get his first podium in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Him qualifying P2, we're like, oh my God, I'm watching this. Like, Max has a chance to win Monaco.
Yes.
What a turn of events for
100%.
Red Bull. And then the car just craps out at the beginning of the race.
There's 14 points between them right now in the championship. Max at 43, Hadjar at 29. Hadjar's on the podium in Monaco. Second year in Formula One. I mean,
incredible.
That's amazing.
We're
talking about Kimi,
phenomenal.
who's in a prolific car. Yes. Second year, generational talent. And then we're talking about Isaac, who's in definitely not a prolific car.
Nope.
One of the most high-pressure teams in the entire sports history, not just right now. And he's P3, and he's right with Max. The seat that has chewed up and spat out every driver, arguably since Daniel Ricciardo, if you don't count it also doing it to him.
Yeah.
He is dealing with it, and not just there or thereabouts. Yes, Max DNF'd, but he outperformed Max this week. And how many times in the past have we seen Max DNF and the driver that's in the other car is absolutely nowhere? Hadjar is not writing, like replaying history. He is rewriting it right now for Red Bull.
Well, and this is so fascinating. If you look at the top three, Kimi, Lewis, Isaac, all three of their teammates were out of the points or out of the race.
Yep.
So Russ out of the points for Kimi, Chuck out of the race for Lewis, Max out of the race for Isaac.
Correct.
And those three drivers all on the podium.
Yes.
And that's what you need as a team.
Exactly.
You have got to have two drivers.
Very good point.
Who are neck and neck.
Yes.
And when one bins it, or when one is out of the points, the other is winning the race.
100%.
The other is inside. So I think that's actually a fascinating thing to realize. And again, like this goes for Oscar too. Oscar was in fourth place. Lando was out. Like it was fascinating how like we had half of the greats and the 100%. Other half were just gone. And it was just such a weird kind of Monaco-esque race where you have the top four, their teammates are completely out of the race or completely out of the points. But I mean, again.
And even just looking at this, like Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, Racing Bulls, the top 5 teams were all completely different teams.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Like that is not something that we normally see. And even if you don't count the fact that, I mean, man, Racing Bulls, what a weekend for them. 2 cars in the points. Alpine, Williams, Haas. Literally, we have 9 different cars, 9 different teams in the top 10.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that is absolutely incredible.
It was incredible. I think the last thing I would say on Red Bull is rough weekend for Max, but I am genuinely optimistic for Red Bull moving forward. I think they've found something.
Oh, yeah.
In the car, and they have found their second driver. They found someone who can help carry the weight, and in a way that can match Max. And I'm aware of what I'm saying as I'm saying that. Obviously, Isaac is no Max.
Totally.
But the fact that he is able to score points at that level, Red Bull's found something.
100%.
And even with Max out of the Sunday race, like, this is still a weekend they can walk away from and say, hey, we made huge strides on Saturday. We got Isaac on the podium. These are big wins.
100%.
Let's build on this and let's keep going forward.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal weekend. A team that did not have a phenomenal weekend was McLaren.
Yeah.
Lando DNFs.
Mm-hmm.
And Oscar finishes in 4th place.
Which, for
pretty
Oscar, is good.
Pretty good for Oscar. This is not what the team needed after a absolutely shocking performance in Canada.
Yeah.
This is Lando's 2nd mechanical DNF for the season.
Mm-hmm.
And what a way to celebrate 1,000 Grand Prix is for one of your drivers to not finish and the other to finish in a mediocre P4, many, many seconds behind the first place driver with the exact same engine.
It was such a bummer. Zach Brown was so flatlined. He was just not feeling the 1,000th celebration at all. Yeah, McLaren, they're in a rough spot. Like, I know they're technically, 3rd in the championship. But after having won it the last 2 seasons, that's not where they want to be. And Ferrari at this point has got the mojo that McLaren's missing.
100%.
And so McLaren is just kind of staring at the walls here to say, okay, what direction are we going in? Because Ferrari's found something and they're bringing more. Mercedes, is almost uncatchable. And
100%.
we've got the same freaking power unit as them. And so if McLaren's not careful, Red Bull is going to chase them down.
Oh, 100%.
Because Red Bull's not that far back.
They're not that far back at all.
They're really not.
72 to 118, and they're not having half as many issues as the McLaren is having. No. They had a really hard start. They had a really, really hard start. Yep. And if it wasn't for the issue that Max had today, they would have had, it probably would have been Max in P3 and Hadjar in P4. And that would have been a haul of points. A massive haul of points. Yeah, you're looking at McLaren and you're just not where we thought you would be. And you're not improving as fast as everyone expected you to.
Yeah, it feels a little out of sorts for them.
Yes.
We're used to, and maybe we just have our expectations too 100%. High, where we're just used to McLaren being able to turn on a dime, being able to bring upgrades that really just propel them forward.
Exactly.
And it feels like they're scratching their heads with these regs because they absolutely haven't figured it out. Their cars have really struggled on the mechanical side of things. We've had so many races so far where their cars are just not finishing.
100%.
And that is very unlike McLaren.
Yeah.
So they got to figure it out because, again, if they can't,
they have to.
Red Bull is going to come for them. And they're going to bump down to 4th.
100%. Yeah, it already feels like Ferrari is pulling away from McLaren. Like they've got it sorted more than that.
It feels that, yeah.
Which can't feel good for the MCL camp. They're not loving that. This is not the post World Championship series that Lando was looking for.
No.
This is not where we expected our reigning world champion to be. Not for a lack of trying, for a lack of being able to try. Because the car just is not there for them. So it's a big bummer of a weekend. Racing Bulls, on the other hand, Liam and
Unreal
Lindblad both finishing in the points, bringing home buckets for Racing Bulls. They are now sitting as clear potential leaders of the mid-pack.
I mean, these guys are no fluke. You know, I have been impressed by Liam.
Yeah.
And because again, he got like the hatchet job done
100%.
on him when he was at Red Bull.
Yeah.
And given 2 races, axed from the team. And it was again one of those kind of like you're being humbled very publicly. And it feels like
I don't know if it humbled him, but yes, it was a moment.
You know,
it forced him to eat something.
He ate, there was some humble pie being served up, whether he ate it or not. That's on him. But he feels like he's really taking off with Racing Bulls. Lindblad's been incredible. Like this
100%.
Kids just kind of come out of nowhere.
Yep.
The Racing Bulls genuinely is fighting with Alpine. They're 2 points behind Alpine.
Yeah.
They're in the conversation with Red Bull still.
They're 2 points behind Alpine, but when you look at their driver pairing, you look at, Liam, who is 26 points versus Isaac Hadjar, who's 29 points. You look at Arvid Lindblad, who has 13, and Franco, who has Colapinto. So it feels like with Pierre and Liam having the exact same amount of points, it really feels like it's a dogfight between Racing Bulls and Alpine right now.
Yep.
And you feel like you have, the more experienced driver, albeit that Liam is not anywhere nearly as experienced as Gasly. But Gasly, pulling that team. Liam seems to be pulling that team. And also showing like, hey, dude, you gave that seat to Isaac, and I'm 3 points behind him. It is a pretty good show. It's not a bad thing. Now, we never saw Liam finish P3 at Monaco, or anyway, close, but not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. No, they again, haul of points, huge for Racing Bulls, especially as they're fighting with Alpine. But I want to go to Gasly here for a second. Gasly technically finishes the race in P3. It's on the podium, gets a penalty, 10 seconds, and falls from P3 all the way down to P7. This huge impact to Alpine.
Yes.
Huge impact to Alpine. Did
they steal his Monaco podium? Did the FIA steal it?
This gets to the larger question around what the heck was happening with all these penalties.
Hours later, he goes down to P7. It's like Perez. Cadillac finishes their first points in F1 ever as a team. Greatest weekend of their life. Perez is like, yes. And then now I have no points again. What is happening here? No, it's devastation. And it's not because of a crash or not because of strategy. It was because of freaking pit lane speeding that was worthless.
It was pit lane, and it was also positioning on track. They said it was outside of the box. Here's the thing. I feel like Monaco was characterized this weekend by so many of the penalties.
Yeah.
And the fact that 6 drivers had a speeding in the pit lane penalty. That, like, if it's 1 or 2, that's one thing. But when it's 6, it's like, okay, wait, what is going on?
This exactly. Yeah, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Pierre Gasly, and Franco Colapinto all got caught with the exact same issue. Is that really driver error? I mean, one driver, I buy it every time. Yep, you sped. You locked up too late. There were so many red exclamation points and yellow exclamation points on the screen next to all of the drivers' names. Like, I just hate that the podium wasn't decided on track, because if this becomes, they filed a right to review.
Oh,
Alpine has done that, because the reality is like, you look at Pierre Gasly's race, he qualified P9 in Monaco.
Yeah, it's insane.
And finished P3 on the podium.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, that doesn't happen.
Never.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then for that to be taken away 7 hours later is horse crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like absolute horse crap. And a huge amount of points for Alpine. A factory changing amount of points for Alpine as a team.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
A driver standing changing amount of points for Pierre. Like a podium for Alpine is not something that they are going to give up lightly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was watching I don't know, like a basketball game where the refs were just calling every ticky-tacky little foul. And I was like, wait, what are we doing here? It just was so overwhelming to the race how many penalties were being called. It felt like I don't remember actually ever watching a race with this many penalties.
No, never.
The
commentators that I listened to, Alex Jakes, Jolyon Palmer, they were like, I've never seen, and there's no way this can all be driver error. No, there's no way.
No,
there's got to be something wrong.
And again, if there was something wrong, that had a huge impact on the race.
Yes.
So that's something where I hate when there is a referee error that negatively impacts the genuine outcome of a sporting event.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it seemed pretty suspect.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like Pierre had a heartbreaking quote. Like, it's been 10 years. I have 5 podiums in my career. And then Monaco finally happens and it gets taken away.
Yeah.
After
insane,
the fact.
Dude.
Like, that sucks. Like, he has more podium worthy drives than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Pierre Gasly, like, in my opinion, Alpine, that was my dark horse this season. Like, I was like, I think we're going to watch Alpine and we're going to see something really happen. And I think Pierre Gasly is one of the most underrated and under talked about drivers on the entire grid. If this gets clipped into a reel, it probably won't get that many views because he's not Lewis Hamilton, Chuck Norris, Chuck Norris, and you know what I mean.
Chuck Norris, let's go.
It sucks because he drove so well today. P9 to P3 in Monaco. Those things don't really go like P9 to P3 in Brazil. Okay. P9 to P3 in Monaco does not make any sense.
No.
And he took advantage. He drove clean. He was in the mix, but he wasn't doing anything crazy. He was just driving well. And for it to be taken away after the fact, this just leads me to ask, like, can we just instate that when the race is done, we're done?
Yeah, I'm like, carry the penalty over to the next race.
No one wants to see somebody's podium get taken away in that moment.
No, of course not.
The carrying it on rule, you run the risk at the end of the season that if it finishes and it's a title championship.
I mean, there is that.
But this is the big world. This is the
big bad world.
We don't like
the rules.
No, I don't.
We don't
rules
like
in
more
general.
rules. And today just felt like overwhelmed. I do have one more thing here as we're landing the plane. The crumbling track feels like an oversight.
It's
in the
repaved 8 months ago.
Of the crown of
the
F1.
jewel of the crown of F1.
It feels like
Monaco.
we should have not had like whatever that was, a couple feet by a couple feet just there.
Yeah,
like,
it was like 6 feet.
Let's just roll over that whole thing with some new pavement. Like, why are we?
Well, that was the problem. It
out?
was pavement, but you're saying repave the entire thing. Thank God they did it. The whole thing would have been falling apart. I just think that the richest country of its 1.8 kilometers, square kilometer, can afford some damn good roads, and they didn't.
Well,
what is that?
This was the thing where I was like, wait, hang on a second. How is it like? Let's just translate this into an American sport analogy. Let's say like there's a basketball court where there's like just a hole in the one corner. And they're like, hey guys, just don't break an ankle, okay? Like we're gonna continue on. Or like the freaking football field, like in the end zone, it's like a gaping hole. Like, yeah, guys, just don't fall down into it. Like, in what universe is it acceptable that the actual field of play has a compromise?
Exactly.
Like that? That's what it is.
That's exactly right.
It doesn't matter if they're in a car.
No.
The field of play, the racetrack, is compromised. So how did that happen? Like, do we not test these things beforehand? Do we not say like, hey, like this looks a little like funky? Like, did it start crumbling only on Sunday, or was it showing signs on Saturday?
Like, when did this happen? How did it only happen on a race? We've been running this thing, not just Formula One, F2, and the Porsche Cup. All of us have been running around here. No one spotted this.
It feels like a colossal oversight. And so that was the one piece of this weekend where I was like, now again, it shook things up for us.
Yes.
But I don't think Monaco is being like, make sure next year we like figure this thing out, because it was it obviously ruined Lance Stroll's race, but he's in an Aston Martin, so his entire season's ruined. But it ruined Chuck's race. And again, obviously added an entire crazy dimension into the weekend. But yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of crazy. Honestly, it was the best Monaco in years for me.
Oh, well, it was.
I enjoyed Saturday
and
Sunday. I don't know if I'm convinced it's a good track for us to be racing at, considering that it was only interesting because of all of the chaos and the fact that 7 out of 22 cars retired. But I will say I'm looking forward to Barcelona.
Yes.
Barcelona.
Yes.
Barcelona.
As well.
Most people say it's boring as well because it's one of the most driven tracks. But I think it's going to be, I think the new regs, exactly, because it has high speed. Mm-hmm. It has low speed. Mm-hmm. It has long corners.
We've got a lot of straights in there, unlike Monaco.
Energy management is going to be everything here. And I think this might be one of the most important races on the calendar because I think we are going to see whether or not teams have caught up to Mercedes. Mm-hmm. We're going to see whether or not George can come back. And we're going to find out if Red Bull was just lucky in Monaco or if Max is truly back.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a track where we're actually going to see all the gloves come off and really what each team has, because Monaco's a one-off and it's not reflective of the true capability of the car.
No.
And so this is, I think, going to be a fantastic front row seat for us to say, okay, where are we?
Totally.
And it just feels like a check for each of these teams if they're moving in the right direction or if they're continuing to degrade in the wrong direction.
It's also a bit of like a lie detector for McLaren. Like you've been talking about upgrades, you've been talking about deployment issues, you've been talking about making progress. And if Barcelona appears and there's zero progression, it's a bit of a panic button moment for McLaren.
Well, yeah, because at this point we would be 7 races in.
Yep.
It's like a third of the season. That's not insignificant. And the fact that we've got momentum is with other teams. It's not with you.
100%.
You don't have it.
You don't have any.
Ferrari's got it. Mercedes got it. We think Red Bull's got it. Racing Bulls has got it. Alpine's got it, for God's sakes. You don't have it.
We're talking about McLaren. It's not okay that your driver finished in 4th and one didn't finish at all. 4th is not what you're here for.
No, of course not.
You are the reigning world champion, both with driver and constructors.
And I've forgotten that.
I expect more from you.
I have forgotten that. And I've almost given them a pass.
100%. You're not Williams. You don't get to finish like this.
No, absolutely. And literally, like, people keep saying Lando Norris is the reigning world champion. And I almost like chuckle. I'm like, no, he's not. And I'm like,
he does have the number 1 in his car. Yes.
Oh, but he is.
Yes.
But it's one of these seasons where it's been so bad for him.
It's been so
where
bad.
I'm like, if I was him, I'd be like, can we take this number 1 off? Because I'm not.
You wouldn't do that. But yes.
Of course not.
Yeah, metaphorically. Yes.
Metaphorically, I'm like, can I just kind of go back to like, I'm just here to race because I'm not.
He would just be happy to race. He can't get a freaking car to finish a race. That's the problem. Anyway, a lot going down. What's your prediction? Who do you think is going to win?
It feels foolish to bet against Kimi at this point.
Yeah.
But I say that I'm always here for some Max magic. And if there's a
Max
universe in which Red Bull is actually headed in the right direction, I think I want to see that.
Yeah.
And again, Lewis, like the Kimi Lewis Max dynamic that we saw a glimpse of in Monaco, I was like, oh, I could be here for this.
Yes.
So I would love to see those guys on the podium together.
It's hard to bet against Mercedes at tracks like Barcelona because they do like a test tube car, and Barcelona is one of the greatest test tracks.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to bet against them, but I'm going to actually go, I truly believe Russell can bounce back. And I think at Barcelona, Russell's going to feel something. I think he's going to feel something. And he's going to make a change. It's time to make a change.
He's going to stare at the man in the mirror.
He does. He needs to look at the man in the mirror. I think George is going to go P1. I think Antonelli is going to be P2.
That's
and
bold.
I think Lewis will be in P3. Ferrari historically has been good. I don't know if they will be in Spain. It's a long shot.
Yeah, no, you're not the only one who's saying that they're probably not going to be that great in Spain.
Tune in next time to find out how wrong we were and to hear all of our, I think, awesome opinions on the Spanish. A crumbling
if nothing
in
else,
Barcelona.
it's an American opinion.
Exactly.